Hi. How you doing? Omishindaji. How are you doing, by the way? How's your week been? If you're seeing this on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in the morning, in the middle of the night, when I'm chowy, but I hope you're good. Malika Oma is I once again, and welcome to Tetanam, the podcast for Africans by Africans, where we talk about the issues that as Africans we need to talk about. That is our geopolitical systems, our cultures, our religions, our beliefs, the tiny things that seem it doesn't make sense, but really are things that have shaped us. And as Africans, we need to have those conversations so that we understand where we stand in the world. And today, I'm having a guest today. I'm very excited about the guest I have today. She is such a power when it comes to activism, social media activism, and activism of what is right within our country, what is not right, what is fucked up, what we need to change. She is somebody who I call a soldier of accountability, and we need more soldiers of accountability. That is just my intro of her. But I'm gonna let her do the whole introduction. Madam, tafadhali, tupatie bio yote.
Oh.
Don't hold back.
Okay. That's crazy. I normally introduce myself with like a one-liner, but
Give
hi.
us a full shebang.
My name is Tatiana Gicheru, a friend of Malika's. I'm so excited to be here. I wear many hats. I've been called an activist, a civic and political educator. I'm just passionate about using communication, more specifically digital communication, to change societies, not to change, but to transform societies and to give people information. I always say knowledge is power, information is power. And so, yeah, you can always catch me on my pages talking about anything and everything, especially when it comes to injustice. But aside from that, I'm a student, I'm a woman, I'm a Gen Z, and I'm an African. So
Yes,
I'm excited
you
to
are.
be here.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am. So even before we get to the nitty-gritties of our episode, I'm going to have us have a small icebreaker.
Okay.
So there's one game I want us to play. It's called the word check-in. Okay. If you had to describe the political mood in Kenya in one word, what would it be? And if you had to sum up the year so far, the 8 months we've had in Kenya so far with a hashtag, what would it be?
I think the word and the hashtag can be the same.
Mm-hmm.
One time. Like this guy really, he's on a ticking time clock.
Yeah.
And I want to decentralize it from just the executive and just the presidency. Let's like anybody who is corrupt, anybody who is doing shady dealings, anybody who is benefiting at the expense of others, you are there to serve, and your day is coming, and we will make sure of it.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Your day is coming. By the way, your day is coming, and I agree with you 100%. And that is why you are here. We are here to remind Kenyans why we are mad, why we need to keep fighting for justice and accountability, not just, as you've said, from the president, but everybody else in this line. To start us off, just this week or last week, the president was saying, "Nyinyi MPs, you are the ones who are being corrupt, taking bribes." I'm like, dude.
The pot calling the kettle black.
The pot calling the kettle black. And if we take that small example and we rewind to 2024, before we had the protests of the finance bill, where MPs were bribed. MPs came out and like, yeah, we were bribed. Some took the money, some didn't. Is it God who bribed them?
No.
So what do you think?
Yeah, that has been a very interesting story that I've been following very closely. And number one, from the political side of it, just know that even if you're a politician and you work with Ruto and you think you're making your money right now, just know this guy will chew you up and spit you out. And if you have any doubts about it, ask Kashagwa. Like, it's actually so funny because very many unpopular bills have been presented to Parliament. The bill on SHA, Finance Bill 2024, protest amendment bills, although I can say SHA and Finance Bill are bills that passed. And it was passed because of bribing. And this is not a new story also.
It's not.
I think we've had many, many times that in Parliament, There are some people that just perambulate the corridors, the washrooms, and what they call themselves or what they are called is lobbyists, right? Now, in the US, lobbying is legal, but here it's not.
It's not.
Lobbying, for those who don't know, is when a policy is being passed and you as a lobbyist have your interests or maybe your organization's interests or maybe like your constituents' interests. So you as a lobbyist, you're trying to push for those interests. Now, in this case, lobbying is done through an incentive, and that incentive is money. So I'll pay you. I don't know how much they were saying guys are being paid for finance bills. Something
Is it
like
2 million?
2 million or even 10 just to vote in favor. So you see, that's how lobbying is being done, and that's how it's been done for a long time. So all that to say, it's very worrying what we are seeing, but at the same time, I like it because Parliament are supposed to hold the executive accountable as per our constitution. That is how our country is set up. But we've had a parliament that has been so firm under his hold that now when you see them start to disagree and you even hear Parliament say, Ruto, we are going to summon you. Now that is democracy.
Yes.
Let them fight. Wabishane, please. That is how things are supposed to work. I think if he continues like this, pissing off Parliament, he will be his own downfall because those are the people who can table a motion to impeach him.
That's very true. I think even apart from even the lies that he spews out, we say he says lies and people are like, what lies are these? It's like we can bring in whole lists of lies. Like how he keeps defending Shah for working. Shah has not been, just today, there has been money that has been found, imekuwa ikismaguliwa through Shah, through a ghost clinic.
I heard the story of ghost workers. Now there's ghost clinics.
Ghost hospital, yes. Shah wired 20 million to this thicket and more suspect dealings. In August 2025, dismemberment schedules showed how Shah sent 19.9 million to a dispensary, which ministry records reveal has been abandoned and holds only 9 beds.
There's this story. There's this MP that I saw the other day saying, in Kenya we have a problem of creating new solutions to problems we've not already solved, and that's how I felt about Shah. It's true because NHIF was there. It was. At least
it was better than what's going on now.
It was better. Instead of now scrapping it and starting a whole new system altogether, why not build on what's already there? And I think I said this the other day when I was talking about NACADA on my page, the NACADA proposals. Whenever you see a bill introduced in Parliament, do not even think for 5 seconds that it's about you.
It's not about you.
So always ask yourself, how does this benefit the person making the policy? So
follow
even
the money.
With the Ruto story about him calling out corruption, it started with a debate over an anti-money laundering bill that was introduced in Parliament. So when you see Ruto anazusha juu ya anti-money laundering,
you're like,
najua unafanya wash.
Follow the what?
Follow the money.
Follow the money.
Because corruption, I would say most of money laundering in Kenya, the money they're washing is not from drug trade.
It's not.
It's corruption money, and it's a lot.
And unpopular opinion, people will probably not agree with this. Kenya is one of the biggest money laundering hubs in Africa. We are one of the biggest smuggling hub in Africa, illegal smuggling grab in Africa. How do you think Congo rebels are getting their ammunitions? They're literally passing through Kenya, from Israel passing through Kenya. Same thing with South Sudan rebels passing through Kenya. How do you think Dubai get all their gold? That country sells the most gold, but do not even have one gold mine. One gold mine, it's being smuggled through Kenya. And as you're saying, see who is actually being affected. Because even with the NACADA policies, and you look at them, you're like, wait, so you don't want restaurants to sell alcohol. Why?
Like, honestly, you just need to stay in Nairobi for 2 days. Even as an outsider, you need to come stay in Nairobi for 2 days to understand how those proposals are going to kill our economy single-handedly.
They are. What even made me so mad is there's such a direct attack going towards the digital economy. In that even most of the proposals, online stores, home deliveries not allowed.
Even advertising. Actually,
advertising?
Nowadays when you scroll, most of your favorite content creators, they're advertising for EABL, they're advertising for Smirnoff, for Gordon's, and those are the people who are cutting them big checks. So you don't want our girls and our guys to make
earn money. I'm like, you don't want people to earn money.
And you're not giving us alternatives where we'll get jobs.
Exactly. He has been promising jobs since the beginning of life.
And Malika, I feel like people like to forget. This guy was
Exactly.
the DP for 10 years.
What did he do?
For 10 years, nothing.
And you know what he did? Let me not lie to you. This guy is very intelligent. I think we should also... Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Why I'm saying very intelligent is that he knew what card to play, when to play it, and how to play it.
I don't think it's that Ruto is so smart.
Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is how his game. This according to what I see. By the time that he was having a falling out with the President Uhuru, and we all were like, Aki Woshi Ruto, ona vile wamemfanyia. He saw the sympathy plea being put on him. And what did he do? He was like, yes, I will take the sympathy card and I will play. He's played the sympathy card so well. That's how he got the presidency. He was like, these guys, they did this to me. And Uhuru kept saying, you guys don't know this man. You don't know this man. He got into power. We still didn't know him. The first 2 years, correct? Now that is why you are here with us. Alicheza rada kidogo. Oh, talking about Pan-African. The talking.
No, let me tell you, actually, when Ruto entered power, I remember saying, he came in with an energy. I don't know how to explain. Because, first of all, the elections were contested. So there was already the part of people don't believe that you are really elected by the people to do
the job.
And then, kidogo, one of the worst disasters that we don't talk about as a nation, Shakahola happened.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
And it's still happening.
That was 2022. Until now, bodies are being uncovered. Now, I don't know. I don't want to say something that I don't know 100% is true, but I can tell you the story of it being a cult, I don't know, cult mass killing. That story of what's this guy's name, Pastor McKinsey? I don't know. I feel like
something
is missing from that story. Mm-hmm. It's not like Kenyans to go into those cult followings. You're telling me 500 people commit mass suicide. It's a really... To me, it's a really far-fetched story.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I feel like also I don't trust the state. So you can tell me that this is what happened. I don't necessarily
I'm not going to trust
believe you.
I agree with you. I see you.
So I think it's been, so I think also after Shakahola, people were now like, Allah. Then there was locusts. There was
the locust infestation, and they said, no, this is one of the plagues.
So I think even from when he entered, there was that push and pull. And now what we are starting to see is the same people that voted for him, because people voted for him, the same people that voted for him are now regretting it. But what is concerning me and why I'm so happy to be here today talking about why we are still mad is that ever since Saba, things have been changing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's focused. He's like, okay, let's stop killing and abducting people now. Now let's do damage control.
Yeah, to sufficient rada.
Now, exactly. Now, Occupy State House, we call youth to State House, I think last week, when you said, the president last week said, I was like, do you know last week, the president talked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
The whole week.
He made speeches every day. This Harambee Stars story, what is it? It's popularism. He's trying to become popular.
Yeah, he's trying to get back into our good
You can't
books.
even allow Harambee Stars to just lift their trophy in peace. You want to be in their dressing room, them smiling at you. You're the one supposed to be clapping for them.
Yeah. You're supposed to be giving them their... You don't have to make it a whole PR moment.
Yeah. And I don't like that story. Don't dish out money to them. Make the football industry good enough. Because star athletes should be rich regardless.
Yeah.
Not because the president is dishing out money to you, but because the industry is set up in a way. Why give these guys more money and these people mashinani who are so talented?
Yes.
And they want to be in that same position.
You're very right. You're very, very right. And even I like how you've jumped to that. Now that's the then and the now. About this whole Harambee Stars story, it really frightens me. It frightens me as a creative and as an artist in that I really do believe that if you're a creative, create for the creation. Create because it's a gift you're given. Not everybody is creative, and that's a fact in life. So I feel like if you have that creativity inside you, you have a responsibility to nurture it in a positive way. You have a responsibility not just to yourself, but to the gift you've been given. So now somebody is coming and now dishing money at you, and you're doing it for the money. And correct me, I know I'm not wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. Any artist or creative person who has done their career for the money has had a downfall. They've had a downfall. But somebody who is creating for the sake of, I'm creating it for the purity of the art, their career, their life, there's that elevation, you know. And what he's doing with the money is exactly what the colonialists did with us. Exactly what the Europeans did. They dangled money. And I'm like, guys, me, if I was in your shoes, yes, I would take the money. I'm not gonna lie.
Why would you refuse?
Why should I refuse to?
I was even saying,
the beast that's eating
I'm
me.
not mad at them because they have
No,
money,
man,
but they should have never been given that money.
Not
to
like
start
that.
with.
I don't think that's the right way to give money, because way back in time, Harambestas was a big thing. We actually had Harambestas had such a reputation, and I get the strive of trying to get back there, but really now your bribery is the way you're going to do it. And hata haogopi. Alafu another question, hii pesa yote unatoa wapi?
Show me in the budget where you budgeted for
Imetoa
this.
wapi?
Thank you, because also at the same time they renovated. You've seen the stadiums are looking a bit
They're
different.
looking
I feel
better.
like that should be public information. How much did that cost? Because I know after this CAF story, the stadiums will be left like that. Maintenance, nothing.
Will not be done.
Nothing like that.
And you know, Kenya, very many, first of all, even athletes, international athletes come to Kenya to train. They go to Iten. I was in high school in sides of Eldoret. Iten is such a training ground. Watu wenye nakimbia marathon, long distance, Iten is a place. But if you go there, they have not done anything to even be able to support the local. Kijana mwenye ako hapa right beside Iten fields is not being supported to be able to push on their dreams. And this is an avenue that has saved many people. But at the same time, it's also taking me to the next thing I want to discuss with you, which is the femicide issues going on in Kenya, the gender-based violence, the sexual violence going on in the country. Even with just that Iten story, there are athletes who have been killed, women who have been killed because of making more money than a man. A man who came and said, oh, I want to be your manager. And it's you guys want me to work hard. I've worked hard, I've gotten my money, but now it's my fault that I've gotten money. And you're blaming money for the reason why I've died.
Ama you feel like it's yours. So
it's
if
yours.
I refuse to give you, then I deserve to
Then
die.
I deserve to die. And it boils me down to this issue that we're having it's very troubling, it's very scary, and our female MPs are not doing anything to help. They're going around in campaign trails, making sexual examples of why we should give Ruto a second term, saying that when you're with your partner, do you go for one round or do you go for 2 rounds? Ati unasikianga vizuri kama mtu ako ndani ama ako nje, and you're like,
imagine.
What's your take? Like.
Okay, so first, when we talk about the issue of femicide and gender-based violence, let me first say this. I'm going to look at it from a very systemic level, from the top going down. And I'm going to say this. Unless we have political goodwill to deal with the issue of gender-based violence, femicide, child sex trafficking, unless we have that political goodwill, then there's nothing we are doing as a nation. Because if you watch that documentary and you see those girls, and as a CS of Interior, you're in charge of the DCI, you're in charge of the NIS, you're in charge of our security, you. He's in charge of our security. And what he did in response to that video actually made me cry, because that's why survivors don't talk about the abuse, because of reactions like more comments, because of someone turning around and saying it's a lie, someone dismissing you, someone invalidating your entire experience.
That's true.
Especially someone with the power to actually do something about it. Because DCI are very busy. They are very busy summoning, arresting, abducting. They are very busy. But in the meantime, children are being used
Violated.
for sex and raped.
And it's
like
being looked at like it's a car. It's like, no, it's not real.
It's
all in your head.
And then he got Raila Odinga to back him up. Because Raila Odinga, his mouth is just full of bread nowadays. He only opens it to talk on behalf of Ruto and Murkomen and then put the bread back.
Niju Raila mesaidia inchi. By the way, I always say we all say Ruto is a demon, but the bigger demon is Raila. That man, every single president that has gone through this country, he has benefited.
Speaking of which, that takes me back to the corruption story. Now, I I like, you say this is a casual podcast. So normally I don't talk about things that are not very verified. But at the same time, I know that there's that line between what is verified and what
It's not.
what is known. You know, like there's some things. So you'll often hear that for Raila, and I think probably if you did your research, you can get a source to back it up. But Raila, if you run under Raila's party, whether Azimio, if you run with him and then you get a seat, you now have to pay him a certain amount every month.
Namlipa salary.
Yeah, he's paid. So everybody who is in parliament, who is affiliated to Raila's party, pays him every month, whether that's Millicent Odhiambo, whether it's, Millie Odhiambo, sorry. So they pay him every month. So that just shows you corruption is so... It's
so normal.
And it's so deep, So I feel like looking forward, like Fagia Water, that concept is so important because they're all cut from the same
cloth.
They're all cut from the same cloth. Between Raila, Uhuru, and it actually pains me when I hear people saying, oh, I wish we could go back to the days of Uhunye. At least him, he was better. It wasn't that he was better. It's that maybe he wasn't...
vizuri. Because then you
No, right now, I can agree with you that yes, times are bad, times are worse, but not that Uhuru is a better man than Ruto.
He's not, yeah.
During Uhuru's time, there was still a lot of extrajudicial killings, especially of people from the Luo community.
Yes.
So, let's not be blinded.
Let's not lie to each other.
But in terms of the way things were, at least that time was a little bit... Of course, there was a lot of terrorism that time also. But
yes.
In terms of economic conditions, standards of living, I think we were a bit better. Things right now are bad.
Things are so terrible. Oh my gosh. And now even talking about how bad things are, there's something that has really been going on right now in Kenya, in Africa, in the world, and it is the declining birth rate. The birth rate has highly been declining, and I know...
Is that even in Kenya, really?
Yes, even in Kenya. The birth rate is declining everywhere. It is declining everywhere, and men are mad at women for not wanting to have children.
Let me ask you something.
And then guys are like, I wish we could go back to the 60s.
Wait, let me ask you something. let me just... Because, I mean, you're looking at what's happening in the Middle East, and right now, do you know the biggest killer of children in 2025 is Israel? The children that are dying in Gaza are more than... They're killing kids.
And they don't care.
So you look this side, there's a genocide. Nobody's doing anything about it. You come to Kenya, here is Ruto. People are being killed. I mean...
Children are being violated. There was a story in Meru about a father who, I don't want to use the R word, who assaulted his 4-year-old child to death.
Oh my.
To death. Her own father. And you're like, okay, this is one of the reasons why women don't want children.
There's nothing about...
And nothing was done.
There's no justice. That's the problem. So, where am I? Why would I bring a child? Because me, myself, I'm wondering, gosh, was it a must? Was it a must? Okay, I get it. I'm here now. I need to make the most of it. But was it a must? Also, I mean, there's this thing of... You want to have kids when you're able to take care of them. And nowadays, it's not that easy. For our parents, by the time they were our age, at least they've gotten a nice job. I'm 22, by the way. So at least you've started your first job. You're earning something, that can at least you can pay rent.
Yeah.
After you've paid rent, you fill your fridge, you pay your utilities, you put some money in savings, and then you can go out for a couple of dinners with your friend that month. That's what a real quality of life should be. But right now, you finish campus, with a whole degree, you're given a job of earning 20,000. What are you going to do with 20,000?
What are you going to do with 20
G's? Nairobi.
Unafanya nini na 20? Na KRA bado nataka kuja kukata kwa 20 G's.
Now what will they take from that 20K? So by the time, I don't even see why you should move out of your parents' house if you can't afford to save. That's just some financial advice I'll give you.
Even the concept of moving out is not an African concept at all, because even in African homes, in the village, when let me talk about the Luo community where I'm from. When now you want to move out of, like you want to get your own home, as now the boys would build a home in the parents' homestead first. It's called a Simba. You build a home, yako peke yako, but uko bado kwa boma yenyu. When you move out, so like us in our example, my parents moved, my dad moved out of the homestead, of course. So we now built our own homestead, and it's a walking distance from where my grandpa's home is to where my parents' home is. And that is the African way of I've moved out. I'm now building my life. I'm this side, but I'm not too far away from my people. And that lack of connectivity is something that is also so rampant right now in the world. And I think specifically in Kenya, there's something that's so pushing with the Gen Z movement is how we're like, we are one tribe. And I think that's something that's shocking people. That even with the protests that we've having when we came out for Albert, and people were like, we're one people. Even there's another hashtag of we are all Kikuyus. You can't keep trying to divide us with this tribal thing. It's not my fault. I'm this tribe.
You know who it's scaring the most, I think, is actually politicians, because they are the ones who have benefited from playing the tribal card. So in 2022, we had 8 million Kenyans above the age of 18, I think below the age of 35, 8 million. Of those, a very small percentage, I think like 4% turned up to vote, right? Out of those 8 million young Kenyans, which has by now ongezeka, we account for around 23% of voters. That's not a small number.
And that's not all of us.
And that's not all of us. That was as per last year. You know, so now I think it's not enough to say we are all Kikuyus. Get your voter's card and go and vote for the right person, not based on tribe, because unfortunately, it's still an ideology that's very big among the older generations who still have somewhat of a say. The other thing I think, especially, and I'll talk very plainly here when it comes to the Kikuyu tribe, I think Kikuyus are an Achilles heel for Kenya in some way. Kikuyus, along with religion and money, corruption. I think the thing with the Kikuyu population or the Kikuyu nation is that we are many. Okay, there am I revealing my tribe, but we are many in terms of we account for a large amount of the population, but also Kikuyus vote in blocks.
Yes.
So when Kikuyus wameamua, it's this guy, and then you're many of you. So I feel like we need to disrupt that. And I feel like as young people now, we are the ones who can now inject and change our parents' minds. There was a forum I went for, I don't even remember where, but there's this girl who was talking about Raila loyalism and Baba loyalism. Any Kenyan understands what I say when I say Raila loyal. As in, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a preconditioning.
It's like, a cult.
Yeah.
It's a cult.
You grew up, if you grew up in a Raila supporting household, when you were asked as a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be Raila Odinga. And it's a frame of mind that your parents have never gotten out of. But when they see you going to the streets and you are mad at Raila and you have come home with injuries and he's just there shaking hands, broad-based government, even your parents now feel it. And they say no.
Because it's come home.
Yeah.
It's come directly to them.
It was the same thing with me. I have radicalized everybody in my house. And I love that. They are so politically conscious. They are so, you know, the other day I was driving with my grandma, she's 80, and they were fixing Langata Road. Langata Road was not broken. So, you know,
sasa unafix Langata Road. Na sasa ukikuja hata waje tu niseme tu Westlands, for example.
Even that side, Nairobi West, the potholes, come on.
And I see.
So you just find they've been given 5 billion to do this. They find like a small section of the road there, they build it again.
And they're so focused.
They bomb and put it back.
That we're fixing the road, guys. We're fixing. Can't you see?
So the fact that she can even point that out to me, I mean,
they're seeing it now.
We also have a responsibility now, because imagine we are inspiring these guys. We are taking them back to Saba Saba of the 1990s, and they're saying, wow, they're remembering that feeling of being on the cusp of change. And, you know, they're not yet, you know, without having that thing of we've given up. Because even us 1 year down the line, we can understand that feeling of
giving
losing hope.
Yeah, we can understand
right?
this. Yeah.
So don't penalize your parents, or don't judge them. Yeah, but please, if you know your parents are going to vote for Ruto, just put like a sleeping pill in their
wasiende kuvote akiwa live. Watalala the whole day ama wakedo ina hara. Watahara the whole day.
They're not living there.
And honestly, it's evil to say, but it's the truth.
We got it.
Because we have to do better. We have to have better people to lead us.
And it's us who are going to suffer. Them, they have jobs. They have.
Thank
you. Know, it's us who suffer.
And even what's paining me the most, now we've gone to jobs. That's the next thing the next scandal of our country. Right now, Gen Zs and let me say millennials hit butt heads a lot in the corporate space, in the work environment. And there's a lot of blame game. The millennials be like, this Gen Zs are so, you're so lazy, you don't want to do things. Then a Gen Z is like, why am I bringing you coffee? I went to school for 4 years. My parent paid school fees.
Sure.
I struggled. I worked hard to get this degree I have, to get the knowledge I have. Why am I bringing you coffee? Why? And it's true. Yeah. Why am I bringing you coffee?
Yeah.
I'm not understanding, by the way, why as interns were made to take coffee to people. You know?
I feel like it was an exercise in humility, though.
Yes.
Like, now I wouldn't do it. Now I'll really look at you, but
I'm like, are you
I've
crazy?
been there, bro. I've looked for AirPods before. Have you ever been told, here is my phone, you see the location, go and find them. I think I left them somewhere out there. Hey, sometimes you just need to eat some humble pie.
But you know, there's a way you can teach people humility, but in a way that makes sense. Yeah. You can teach people humility in a way that's not degrading. I think it's also, this is going to sound maybe a little bit bitchy, they went through shit, so they want to transfer that shit. It's like, we see the cycles of, for example, I'm going to use mothers because that's the best way we can explain trauma transfusion. When an example of a woman who's been raised up in an abusive home, let's say with an abusive mother who's constantly on her, the chances of her having her child and doing the same thing is very high.
Because you think that's normal.
You think that's normal. That's that in most cases that happens. And then that child is the one who breaks the cycle. So now I think we are there within the workspace. Millennials were, they went in the pits, they were degraded, and they're like, it is our turn to now do it to you. And we are like, but it doesn't make sense.
Were you ever prefect in school?
Yes.
I understand that because I hated that prefects could punish. I hated that. In our school, it was possible.
That's crazy.
So I had the goal of where you just wait. And then in our school now, prefects would wear ties. So now I was like, that's it. I'm going to run as a prefect. And when I get my tie, it's over for you, you know. So I can understand that. But I feel like with the millennials, it's also the thing of, you know how like Gen Zs you'll hear saying, I'm a soft girl. I'm just a girl.
Yes.
Soft life. But for millennials, they always glorified the suffering.
Yes.
It was always, I have to grind the hardest. I have to be the best. I have to work the most. I have to suffer the most. And like that is, it's glorified suffering.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a bit of both because I also I think soft life is earned. What do you mean soft life? Girl, get out of bed.
I agree
Go
with
to
you.
school. Soft life and you're in first year. What are you soft lifing?
Yeah, and yeah, because even if you come back to the Gen Z side of it, even Gen Z themselves, kuna kwanga na ujinga ingine watu wako nayo. How is it? There's a video I was seeing, this guy was like, mimi nakwambia nikisikia fomu imetoka Mombasa. Natuma tu text naambia mkubwa, cheki bro, mimi naishia coast. I'm like, who does that? You see? So it's even that there's this YOLO, and I'm like, yes, you only live once, but you don't have 9 lives.
Yeah.
I feel like people, and not all Gen Zs. I don't think it's all Gen Zs. I think, and I'm sorry if this sounds mean, but the younger ones, when you wanaingia into the work, when you umetoka high school, wako uni, ndo sasa wanaingia hiyo that mix. You know, like for example, you at your age, you've already been through that whole transfer of school, work, life. You've gotten the head start. You've done it earlier. But there are those who they're still in that process of it, and that integration of, okay, my mindset has to also change, because just because I'm in a place where I have freedom, I'm responsible for that freedom.
But I feel like parents also fail their kids.
They did. Yeah,
to a certain extent, parents fail their kids because I feel like with millennials, maybe they were even more like strict. Their parents were more strict on them. Whereas Gen Zs are more the last born now in that family where the millennial is the first born.
Yeah.
You've been coddled. You know, everything is, unakuja home sangapi, ba. You know, like, I'll tell Nani to cook this and this. So you've been coddled. And now when you go out into the world, you know, you feel like everything is just supposed to be fun times and everything is supposed to be easy.
Given to you.
Yeah, and you feel entitled. And I feel like that's a word that I've had being used to describe Gen Zs.
Yes, a lot.
These Gen Zs are entitled. Although with that, I think it's two-sided because I know so many young people that it's not entitlement. They genuinely got it like that, but there's no opportunity. So you're frustrated. So it might look like you're coming off as rude. But like even me these days, you can say I'm rude. I have interned, I have worked for free, I have searched for AirPods, I have gotten the coffee. So if I look at you respectfully and I say this is not my rate, then
It's
don't say
not.
these Gen Zs are entitled. I'm not entitled.
It's
That's
your
me
worth.
asking for what I'm worth. That's me asking for what I'm due. So I think it's just about knowing the difference. If you're gonna be hard to work with, if you're gonna be a diva, you can't just do it like that. Now, Malika, who am I? If I was to start telling you now that we were supposed to start filming at 2, then I come here at 5:30. See, I'll come and find you've gone.
It's true.
But if it was, I don't know, Martha Karua, see, you would wait. You'd even tell this guy, hold the door. Exactly.
Yeah, I
so
get
in
you.
this life, get where you need to go before now you
Get
give
to your
people
place.
attitude.
Yeah, get to your place so that you can, when you're there, you've actually earned it.
Yeah.
In a way.
Exactly.
And I think what also the millennials do, that maybe it's not intentional, but they want us to understand the value of a dollar. The value of a shilling, let me say it like that. Zileza, it's not always given to you. You have to work for it. You have to, by the way, unafutafute. Kila mtu tumetafuta. Even you pay your dues.
You know, there's a lot of pressure with young people. Like right now, you want to have an iPhone 16, you know, and every small money you get, you know, you really want that iPhone 16. But what have you done to deserve
What have you
it?
done
Where
to
do you
earn
work?
it?
You know,
What have you actually done to earn it?
yeah, you want to go for blankets, and when you want to get soft life ticket, people in soft life are people who can buy the ticket like this. They don't have to think about it. You have to save for 3 months. My friend, you can't afford that ticket. Just go like a normal person. Your day will come.
Yes.
Yeah.
That again, people, I think also a problem with us, we don't want to wait for a day. I want to be rich now and now.
Careful with that. That's how you end up.
That's how you end up in holes and parables and God knows what.
Yeah.
And that gets me to the next thing, the digital world, social media. I think it's safe to say, I personally, I've grown up with Facebook when I was, and with the coming of the internet, not the exact same time, but when it was now becoming a thing. And I remember I got my first Facebook account in class 5 and I was so proud of myself. But at the same time, it was this huge secret. I had to block my mom, block everyone else I know. I'm like, you can't know I'm on Facebook. You guys can't know I'm on Facebook. You know, that kind of vibes. But when you look at it now Instagram is the thing. No young people is talking about Facebook. Like, when it's King Facebook, you're like, what are you still doing on Facebook? You know? And IG has become the thing, and TikTok has become the new, I call it brain rot, has become the new brain rot. And with the down things that it has, as much as I'd like to say it has its downfalls, brain rot, it has done a lot of good. A lot of good in the political space in our country, and voicing issues, hashtags, calling out people. It's some of the reasons why people are being abducted and killed. And you have been a pioneer in your own space, and I want to know from you how does it work? How do you work around it? Knowing you want to give an opinion, but an opinion that's based off a fact. You want to seek for accountability, but at the same time you want to be safe.
Okay. So I'll just give very practical advice from the way I've seen it. The bloggers and activists that have been targeted normally come out with new information, right? When I post on information that's already there, and I always will cite my sources. So I'll say, I read this in the Standard, this was on Citizen Digital, I saw this on the news last night, and I'll even go to find the screen recording and clip it there. So like with Alberto Juang, it was new information. It was an expose. So I will say, expose please, but please go through a media channel that can protect your identity and protect you. That being said, you just never know what you can do wrong. Look what happened to Rose Njeri. When I saw that story, I thought, if I created that website, I would have never thought it was something illegal, or it was something that would have had me spend the whole of Madaraka Day weekend in jail. If it was me, I would have never thought that would have happened, but it did. So at the same time, you need to know that you just never know. At the same
Doing
time,
the right thing might cost you. Because what she did was the right thing.
It was.
She didn't say a lie She simply broke down.
She created a platform that made it easy for people to submit public participation. And that's amazing because the government is supposed to do
That's
that.
their job.
But no, in Kenya, we are being held together by the goodwill of Kenyans. We are being held together by the, people with organizations. We are being held together by activists. So you just never know. The other thing is, I think I'll talk more about misinformation and disinformation than anything because that is also a matter of our safety.
Yes, please.
By the time you see someone posting, I think it was last year, I saw someone posting, my uncle works in the military. He's a big guy in the military. He told me if we go to State House to occupy State House, nothing bad will happen. They've been told to stand down.
Sisi tunasikia watu walikuwa zombies wakarudi home. The stories behind that State House thing is kind of scary.
So misinformation and disinformation is a thing, and that's why it's been so important for me to establish a credible platform such that if you saw it on Tatiana's page, then it's true.
It's true.
And I think if, that's what you want to do, if you want to talk about politics, if you want to talk about civics on the digital space, please find out what you need to find out about journalistic integrity and ethical reporting. We need more credible voices out there because right now misinformation and disinformation, especially disinformation, which I think, in my opinion, mostly comes from government and bots and these guys who are always posting two-term.
Yeah,
if you take 5 minutes to even just open their profiles, there's nothing.
It's a ghost
all
thing.
Just robots.
It's fake. It's a front. It's all literally a front. And I always say we can't let fear control us. We can't let fear drive us. And unfortunately, as human beings, it is natural to have fear. Fear is a not normal human nature. It's a way we protect ourselves. But I think there's a difference between letting them use our fear against us or us using our fear against them.
One of my biggest mottos is always, and people ask me, when you're not scared? I'm scared. But I do it anyway. And that's what bravery is. Bravery is not the absence of fear. It's doing it despite. And yeah, even during the protests and stuff, that's what I just kept telling myself. I'm afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway because it needs to be done. But to be honest, Malika, I'm glad that we've stopped protesting, at least for now.
It's chilled, kidogo. I feel we need to go back to the streets, guys.
No, I don't think... I think...
These guys are too chilled.
I have my own opinions about that because...
Let me know.
There was a time when we were protesting, it was productive.
Yes, until they put the goons in and then it's...
Yeah, so now, okay, maybe June 25th, still productive, but... Not
as productive as 24th as the
and
2024.
So right now it's okay for you to say, yeah, let people go, we are ready to die, until it's your sister or your brother or it's you or actually someone you're close to. Then you say, what was the point of it all? So let's also tujalie watu wengine, let's think about other people. If every time going to protest is just going to be a bloodbath with nothing that comes out of it.
What's the point?
Protesting is not our only tool for civic engagement, and that is what I've been trying to say. And also, we need to find a way that everybody can feel like they are part of this movement. Even if you're not brave enough to go in the streets, it's fine. I don't blame you. It's scary.
It's scary.
How would you feel? It's scary.
It's honestly one of the most scariest things you can do.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean there's no place for you here. There is. So I feel like I'm a big advocate of trying to create those alternative avenues for people to engage. And right now, my biggest thing is let's get our voters' cards. Let's vote. Let's, go through IEBC. Let's impeach MPs.
Yeah.
Let's continue to amplify online. Let's continue to, and I think amplifying online is powerful because also the media spaces, legacy media spaces, focus so much on these politicians. Like me, I don't want to hear what Ruto said. I don't want to hear. Tell me what's working, what's not working. Tell me
how are we solving it.
Yeah, thank you. I don't. Nowadays, news is so just politicians stealing limelight. So let's also be careful who we amplify. Who we give a platform. Let's talk about things that matter. Because you can't tell me you're following this corruption story and you don't know about that BBC Africa Eye documentary.
That's true.
So,
and even with that, even with the protesting, I think we don't just protest on the streets. even with online pushing, that is a huge form of protest, and it's now become the Kenyan way of protest because many people are on social media. Mtu anaweza kwa ushago atanunua bundles ya 1 GB.
Kwanza that Facebook that you are nini.
Exactly.
Facebook works and if you don't know this and you're in the digital space, Facebook works without bundles. So you'll find in remote areas kwa community mashinani, most people actually use Facebook.
But
so maybe
Safaricom,
to me and you it's foreign, but for them they use Facebook because they can scroll endlessly without even having bundles. So.
But funny thing, yesterday I was seeing Safaricom is planning on a rollout of bundles. So apparently, tutaja kununua bundles, but you'll be charged according to how long you have been online. Yes. So if you scroll for 30 minutes, and me, I've just downloaded a file.
They're really pushing
you will be charged more than me.
They're really pushing it.
People are
already so fed up with Safcom. It'll just take like finance bill. And Safaricom, hear me well. It'll just take that one stupid decision. You'll be bankrupt.
And I think it's this is the start. This is another one. This one, Kwanza. Because it's I can say the only people who will benefit from this are people who download in big files. Those are the only people who are going to really benefit because downloading takes time. And the files are big. So the bigger the file you have, download takes less time. The bigger the file you have, the more GBs you'll need to download it. So if you're telling me that, okay, if this download will take, 10 minutes, I'm only going to have to pay for 10 minutes, it can actually be cheaper for me, the person who's downloading, versus you who's going to be scrolling. You're just watching reels. It seems like it's nothing, but it's taking more. It's nini.
Safaricom na gava wako hivi. And they're just trying to see, right now, actually, as Ruto now focuses on PR, he's now cracking down on the digital space.
He is. I always say that I've been saying there is such a hunt and an attack on the digital space, on the freelancing space, and on the creative space.
They're trying to make it hard for people to access information.
As much
and that's
as
why
possible.
they're also cutting funding for schools.
That's actually our next thing. It's like you've literally read my mind. So one of the biggest scandals also going on is pesa zinakosekana kwa shule.
But Harambee Stars are balling.
Harambee Stars wanapata 1 million per player.
No, and it increases. It was 1 million was the first time, 2.5 million the second time per player. Now, if they win the tournament, they are going to be given 600M. But now the 600 is total. But now,
pesa yote.
Imagine.
Hii ni budget ya watu. Alafu usisahau watoto waliambiwa. Hii ni budget ya watoto ya chakula. Usisahau waliambiwa na watapatiwa chapati. Usisahau waliambiwa wanatengenezewa chapati. Imagine how many chapatis?
1 billion chapo. A machine. The money was 1 billion to invest in a machine that can mass produce chapatis.
That's the dumbest thing on this side.
Oh yeah, then there's other politicians because even I saw Raila Odinga
give 500K
first
to
of all,
players.
Of all these politicians, can they please go and sit inside a jail cell? Give us back that money. We divert it into education. We divert it into SHA.
We have so many
pesa
other
ya
things.
E-Citizen by the ilienda
wapi. I'm telling you, I saw that E-Citizen thing.
That story just went like this.
And it went like...
But I was laughing because I always used to tell my friends, he pay bill ya E-Citizen ni ya nani? And then my friends are like, Sini Ruto. So we all imagine this guy probably has a phone somewhere. The whole day it's just... the whole day. Just Kenyans sending him money. Because that's so strange.
It doesn't make sense.
Why do we have a pay bill for a government?
Sense, and it makes sense why they've been pushing people to pay with the Citizen. They're trying to put so many payments on eCitizen. And there's one, I think it's eCitizens or Teams, they want royalties to be paid through either eCitizens or eTeams.
Yeah, even content creators, my friends who do content, they have to invoice now their clients using eCitizen. Then you find the website is not working. So you've been waiting for 1 week for your money, but you cannot invoice because the website is not working. Yet you have bills due. You think you're going to tell the landlord, eCitizen is down. I've not been able to get my money.
Is down. And it's very sad about how they are slowly crippling at pillars that are very important in our society. Our health, our education.
There's a time people used to go to school in this country for free.
During Kibaki, he had a vision for this country.
You're even given all the books you need for the term. For the term, you're given, 7 books, everything, pencils, and
you're
go
sorted.
to school.
Right now, they keep changing the school system like it's a tampon. Every 2 seconds it's being changed. Right now, CBC is going to be rolled out apparently. There's a rumor that they want to remove CBC.
But
again,
I feel like these people make decisions as if it's not people's lives they are playing with. Because even when I was hearing this parliament corruption story, I was just like, so you guys are being paid to pass bills that will impact people's lives, 55 million people.
And you don't
for
care?
You, it's no joke. You, as long as next month you go to Hawaii with your family.
And you're like, with my money. I'm like, that is why. Even I remember there's a hashtag going on to go to MPs' houses. And I think one of the scariest things, even let me take us a little bit back about the protest. One of the scariest things of the protest is how people get angry. Because I've come there to exercise my civil right. I'm doing it. Then you tear gas me. You spray me with water, but I'm supposed to keep smiling at you and accepting it. Yes, master. Do it again, master. I'm like, people are going to get mad. People are going to get mad. And when I saw that hashtag was going to MP's house, I was like, am I supposed to be happy or scared? Because it's where munataka sa kwenda kwa nyumba za watu directly. All of this, even let me call out this MP for one example, Babu Owino. We're always praising Babu Owino for being on the side of the Gen Zs because he's always talking a lot. But that's what he does. Talk. That's what all
the politicians do. Even Ruto,
you talk.
If you look back, there are people who are posting videos of him, sounding very progressive, sounding very liberal, sounding very democratic, these
using his brain.
People, these people, they will do what serves them in that moment. So be very critical. And like we said in the beginning, as we are going into 2027, let's not ask, what have you said you will do? Me, I'm going to ask you what you've done. Babu Owino, what did you do? You shot a guy in the face in a nightclub.
Bro. When your master too.
MP of who? That you should be serving time, bro. And he just wants to smooth past that story like it never happened. So I think we just need to be very careful because somebody who can just shoot you in the head for no reason, that guy is not supposed to. I hear he has gubernatorial aspirations. Yes,
for Nairobi slot.
But let me tell you the sad truth, Malika.
He might get it.
Kenyans do
it. Atapata, imagine.
No. Because me and you.
Atapata.
Yes.
But now, actually, let me ask you, who do you think should be our next governor? Who do you think is at least
governor?
Would you say governor? And then also, apart from that, I want to hear your thoughts on Edwin Sifuna.
I don't know who should be our next governor. I think Governor Nairobi is a cast seat, to be honest, if you ask me.
Who looks the shiniest?
Just looking at history, it's very cast, If you look at the story of Mike Sonko, this guy was serving prison time. He faked a death certificate so that he could get out of jail. And then he proceeded to run for governor of Nairobi and he won. So I'm just saying, maybe it's not even the person. Maybe it's the seat, the system that has a problem because...
But I think maybe the category of being governor of Nairobi is be corrupt, be a criminal.
Actually, and it's not... Now, if you watch my episode on Fixing the Nation... That's what I was saying. That was my central thesis, is that for you to get in politics, for you to get elected, you have to be a bad guy. The political system favors criminals.
It does.
There's no way, Malika, you're going to run for, governor of Nairobi and win against somebody who is willing to steal, lie, kill, abduct,
gaslight,
set things on fire. You name it. He will do anything. There's no way you're gonna win against that guy.
They will do anything. And what do you think about
Edwin Sifuna is full of hot air. He is an opportunist, just like Babu Owino. Just like these people, they sit there and, there's this thing someone told me that activism has to cost you something. And I really wanted so bad not to believe that. But in my experience, it's true. It has to cost you something. For me, it's cost me nights of sleep. For me, it's cost me friends, family, mental health, but it has to cost you something. So there's no way you're sitting inside parliament, driving a Benz, driving a Beamer, talking about, I side with Gen Zs. Where? How?
What have you done?
What have you done?
Thank you.
What has it cost you?
It's so funny. It's so funny how if I can break it down in just two simple words to compare politicians versus the people are women and politicians are men. Think about it. They will constantly gaslight you, tell you how crazy you are, come and sell you very good fable stories and tales. Not all men. Let me be nice. Not all men. They'll come and sell you this beautiful idea and vision, but when it comes to giving it to you, oh, atakuuliza mimi nilikwambia. You saw me.
I say that with my mouth.
It's all in your head, girl. It's all in your head, you know. And it's again, you're saying it has to cost you something. It really has to cost you something, and unfortunately, it's costed people's lives.
Honestly, if I worked in government and I couldn't get out of all the corruption, I would do the noble thing and resign. But you guys are still there. You know, there's an MP I like. I think she was actually suspended because of what did she say? She was actually suspended because of saying
Gloria.
something. Yes, Gloria Wamushomba.
She's I call her Shori for periods. So she's the one who went to parliament with her with the white suit.
No, that's Gloria Oruoba. I'm talking about Gathoni Wamushomba.
Oh, Gathoni, sorry
So
for
Gathoni,
confusing.
yeah. No, I don't like Gloria Oruoba.
No,
But
you're talking
Gathoni,
about
I like her. She also uses her digital platforms to educate people. And I think that's beautiful because you have a better understanding of that thing than anybody else. You're a legislator. So even Finance Bill 2025, she was really giving us the tea. And I was like, okay, Gathoni,
That's your job.
Like you. She was really pushing for impeachment of Murkomen after following the comments he made about mtu akikaribia police station piga yeye risasi.
And you're like,
yeah.
What?
But at the same
and
time,
nothing has happened.
Why stand in front of cameras and say we need to impeach Murkomen when you have the capacity to do so.
To do something.
So, but I also don't want to judge too much. I feel like in government, there are some good people. There's another MP and there are some good bills. There's another MP who tabled a bill that when somebody arrives at hospital, they immediately start getting treatment. You know, in Kenya, I don't know which kind of country this is, that when you arrive at the hospital, even actually when you call an ambulance, what is your mode of payment? If you don't have an answer, my friend, we're dead too.
Like, where pole?
Yeah, so I saw a bill that was being introduced about not asking for payment, just treating people, for example, being a law. So I think there are some good people in government, and I feel like we can't look at government as this horrible... Because government is not abstract. Government is people. Government is not something in the air that just happens on its own.
It's us who put
people.
them.
We put people there, and people end up there because there's also a lot of nominated seats. But I urge young people, start thinking about yourself in leadership. Start thinking about yourself in governance, because the only way we are going to move forward,
if we are there,
power has to be taken.
It has to. It's true. The only way, even in every single regime throughout history, power has to be taken. It's taken. Whether we like it or not, it's taken. And then it now begs the question of what are you going to do with the power? And even as you're talking about Murkomen, there is the same Gathoni. You know, she was suspended because of the remark that she gave in Parliament after Murkomen saying they don't know. She said that the answer that he gave was unsatisfactory concerning the whereabouts of Kware murder suspect who escaped from police custody in Gigiri. And what annoyed me the most is for Wetangula, you should be very ashamed of yourself.
Dirty man.
You should be, and rumor has it, anafanyiwa hii kitu nyumbani. Rumor has it he is a victim of GBV. Rumor has it. I have said allegedly. I have allegedized. And seeing him.
By the way, just continue the way you're going. So you're abused at home, so you decide to abuse the nation.
Then seeing him saying at him, it is very uncourteous of you to say that. Murkomen's answer was very uncourteous. How do you come? You're the ones who are with this murder suspect. Is this not a
democracy? Did she curse at him?
She didn't curse at him. She just said, what you're telling me, I cannot accept that an answer because it doesn't make sense.
Suspended. And yeah, I guess that's true because she's had a vendetta against Murkomen. And whether it's politically motivated, I don't care. Murkomen is bad for us. He's bad for us.
He has to go.
We are all going to die with this guy. He doesn't care about us.
He's given us a death sentence on television, not caring.
Let me tell you, if you guys don't understand how dangerous this man is, there are people in jail who probably were not even present during Sabasaba. They didn't even leave their houses. Right now, they're being called terrorists. That's a very serious crime to have pegged on you. Oh my gosh. That is a very serious crime to have pegged on you.
It's scary. That's your life stripped away.
We have these remarks being made about shoot them or don't shoot them in
on the leg.
You know, there's a guy who died because of being shot.
That's how Rex died.
And I feel like Kenyans don't understand when politicians say things in front of the media, the enforcers of the law listen and it causes drama. That's why there was a lot of drama during the Nakada proposals launch, because when it came out to the media, it came out not as a proposal,
but as a law.
So I promise you that night, police really harassed people because they come to the bar, they start saying, umesikia serikali wamesema nini?
Hakuna kukunywa pombe hapa.
Hakuna kukunywa pombe. Mbona, now you see, because of unclear communication. So when these politicians say, it trickles down and it has effects. They can't just stand in front of people and talk how they want.
And I think they do it at times like to test the waters. It's like a test run.
Yes.
Because I felt like that whole Nakada thing was literally a test run.
You know what was a test run? When they said perhaps we won't have elections in 2027. Ooh. Kenyans be very keen. Keen. These guys are showing us. They tabled a bill 2024 October to extend term limits of presidency and MPs from 5 to 7 years. Kenyans be very keen. These things are happening. These guys are plotting.
They are
so
cooking.
Please.
That is why Wajir MP, this is a Wajir MP, she's confidently saying, tutaiba.
Kama zitatosha tutaongeza.
And actually, I have a question for you. I've not gotten to ask many people this, but there's a trend going on currently. Kenya has become literally Kenya is a refugee camp. Kenya is one of the biggest refugee camps, if we're being very honest. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, it's a fact. Very many refugees from South Sudan and Sudan have come to Kenya to get refuge, which we're like, by the way, and it's very African of us. You need help? I'm going to help you. You're my brother, you're my sister. Nah? But I think it's gotten to a point where it has now been abused.
Yeah, with them being given IDs. You're giving refugees IDs, and there are 18-year-old Kenyans who are being told they need to pay 3,000 shillings to get an ID.
Let me give you a now, when I heard about it at first,
voter manipulation
when
tactics.
I heard it at first, I was like, this is cap. Nilienda Ushago. My Ushago is Busia. There's one of the leaders, there's a project we're doing. This guy was telling me, right now here in Busia, getting an ID is one of the most difficult things you can embark
Malika, that's not
as a young person.
It's the truth.
And I'm like, it's what I mean. Lakini, enda boda ya Somalia.
Utapata. These guys are manipulating votes.
But look at another thing. These are just with the facts that we're seeing, with the pattern we're seeing, it is the Somali refugees who are getting IDs easily. I have friends who have been refugees in this country for more than 20 years. And according to our law, correct me if I'm wrong, when you stay in a country for, is it 7 years or how many years there's something about a law when you stay in a country for an amount of time, you can start the process of being a citizen. How many years? Is it 7 or 10?
I wouldn't say so that I don't give the wrong information.
It's one. We will have it.
We'll write it.
We will have it. Yes. There is. There's how that system works in, right? And I have people like, I've been in this country for more than 20 years, and no, getting an ID is one of the hardest thing I can do.
It's true.
Lakini Somalia, aingie, anapata hivi. And this is my theory. Ruto is using the Somali community to back him up in 2027 to be the majority. You see, like how the Kikuyu community have that pushing drive. I think he's trying to create the same thing with the Somali community.
That's what he's doing, even with the Luo community, and that's why he's like this with Raila. And that's what I was talking about, Raila loyalism, because if Raila says this, the guy, that's the guy. And I was even like, you can be so surprised that this guy will actually run as his running mate. Just watch this space. I said it here.
Just for the sake of it. Atakuwa zile za, wacha nikimbie tena. Because najua yeye nika furahingi kama asivai.
He made the announcement, when was it? Was it May, June, Raila announced that he will be, vying again. And so when I saw that, it was a headline on The Nation or The Standard. When I saw that, I was in town and I saw that headline, and I was walking with my friend, a very good comrade of mine actually, and I was like, what? who could he even run with? Because right now, Raila doesn't have many friends politically, except Ruto. So actually, I was like, I wouldn't be so shocked if I see a Ruto Raila ticket.
Ruto atamwingisha box. Amwambia cheki kuja kuwa deputy wangu. Ndo at least uonje hii kitu.
As long as there is money involved.
Uonje hii kitu. You know? You know? You know? And it's crazy. You know, there's a very popular saying of Jaluo Jeuri Jinga. JJJ. And unfortunately, it has such truth to it. Because me, I can tell you from when I was growing up, I did grow up because my dad is Luo, so of course most of the stuff is Luo headed. And seeing that energy of Raila, of Baba, and then also seeing him, my father personally, switch and being like, and I'm like, okay.
You get tired. Even you would get
You're
tired.
seeing that. I'm like, okay. There's that switch. But at the same time, you remember JJJ, Jaluo Jeuri Jinga. There's that Jaluo who's like, okay, I've seen the pattern, I'm breaking out of it. Kuna mwingine atasema, baba ni wetu. lazima tukuwe na Jaluo kwa parliament. Lazima tukuwe na mtu kwa serikali. You think that person is there for you. They're not there for you.
It's true, actually.
They're not there for you.
There was a time, just after the bread-based government was established, there's a certain mechanic who we were asking, like, so now how do you feel now that, you know, Raila kwa gava, kuna broad-based government? He talks as if he's the one who's been given the position. Huh? I'm like, my dude, you're still here going to fix cars for 12 hours in the scorching hot sun to go home and, you know, eat ugali mboga without even nyama. And you're comfortable with that. That's not okay. Imagine dare to dream, dare to say we deserve better because we do. We deserve to live in a country where social, you know, nobody lives in a slum. And that's one thing, you know, and I know I've said that we need to take political leadership, and I have no aspirations. But if I was, that would be my first thing. Slums. Why do we have slums?
It doesn't make sense. And I can tell
better.
you how many times has the government said we are building houses for watu wa Kibera. We are building houses for these slums. We get rid of all. How many times has the government made these promises and people still keep falling for the same tricks? Guys, we keep falling for the same lies.
Ruto said that in 15 years.
15
boy, bye, please.
This is not
you are there already for 10 years. What do you mean 15?
Bro, first of all, is it a very simple thing you could do. Hizi manyumba umesema ulienda kufungua. Hii nyumba ya affordable housing ulisema ulienda kufungua. Umefungua manyumba. Vile ungefanya.
Nakupatiana Harambee Stars.
I'm like, dude, that house that those buildings that you claim to have built, I don't know if it's ghost. They claim to not be ghost, but it's fine. Take families from slums. Put them in. Start clearing them out. Why not actually give those, you say you want us to have, you want people to pay for housing. So help people in the slums.
And by the way, that affordable housing tax people have been paying for a long time. And a lot of the projects that we are seeing upcoming
don't make sense.
First of all, they were already built. They were just halfway. So this guy has gone and put a fresh coat of paint in Mukuru, and then he's put a fresh coat of paint, and then he's given people keys. Do you know, I would love someone to actually go right now and do a story there and to tell me who is living there from that day.
By the way.
Because I was told by my auntie, she told me, those guys are all given 500. This is a first-hand POV. She's told me her friend was there. They were just given 500. They hold the keys like this. They dance. They say, Kumi bila break. And then they go home. Even this story of youth in State House.
They were just given money. Wakaambiwa mnapewa pikipiki.
They didn't go
Enda pale kwa gate. Pikipiki inakuja.
Rudy. Enough. Bring it back now.
Oh my God.
So we don't have governance here. Just PR. Just PR.
Even about our governance, I want to talk about something that is so annoying. Unfinished projects in Kenya.
That makes me think of Morara, because he was doing a good job with that series of his, but now you had to go and be a sellout. Morara.
They always become sellouts. I think we have quite a list of sellouts, and I think we will get to the sellouts when we get to the sellouts. But there's let me give you a brief list of things we're supposed to be completed. Nairobi Railway project was supposed to be done in 2022. It is now postponed indefinitely. A major urban renewal project was to be done of refurbishing the old railway station with areas into the modern city as transport hubs. So the railway was supposed to be going through the city. Hiyo imefika wapi?
And mind you, these things were budgeted and the money was released. So
Walishalipwa. Watu walishalipana. Aya. Mombasa Port Terminal. It's partially complete. It's supposed to be fully completed by 2027. I can assure you it will not. It is a major expansion of the Mombasa Port aimed at increasing container handling capacity, which is good. Our Mombasa Port is is the biggest way that we're making money, but at the same time, it's the biggest way that we're smuggling shit and losing money. Like, even there's a time the Chinese wanted to hold our port for them to run it.
And they still might. Because if we don't pay them back.
If we don't pay, exactly.
I think when you take a loan, you put something as collateral, right? The problem is me and you, Malika, when these guys were borrowing money, we were never asked. We were never asked, so is it okay if we borrow this much?
For this and this?
Can we put this collateral? And then after this many years, we'll pay it back like this, like this. No, those things are done behind closed doors. You just find Kenya has received 100 billion.
And we're like, did we ask for 100 billion?
And now it's your job to pay it back.
It's my job to pay it back. Aibo. Nairobi Expressway is another one. It is fully open.
Hajamaliza.
Ukifika when you're railway, uko chini railway, there's still a part being constructed.
And mind you, that thing is privately owned.
It's already privately owned.
The expressway is privately owned.
It is.
Guess
but who is paying it? See, Uhuru's family. But who is paying for it? You and me.
And it's not cheap to use.
That thing is not cheap, by the way.
500 shillings to come from Westlands to Mombasa to Nini.
It's madness. We have bypasses that were supposed to be finished. We have the Lamu Port Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia transport corridor that was supposed to be made. It is partially complete. It should be done by 2030. We can bet it will not be complete. This is a chain now of corrupt governments doing work together. Nairobi City Stadium was to be renovated in time. Even
now we are building a whole other one. And I'm just like, and you're like, I was told these stories of you're going to have to start asking me to reveal my sources because the number of times I was told by who? I was told actually, if you see the way this government are doing a lot of affordable housing, lot of construction. It's because, and it's not even just that, but they have construction farms and stuff, so they are just giving themselves tenders.
They're giving themselves tenders.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I like, it's like saying, I'm the one who's running the county. We have an event for the county, and I need photography services. See me, I'm a photographer. See, let me hire myself to do it.
And then you do exactly, and then you give yourself a crazy amount of money to do it. Then you hire a guy you pay him 5K to go and take pictures. You take
Kisumu International Airport. Kisumu International Airport is one of the saddest airports you will ever see in this country. That is come to Nairobi, in a flood, in a leak. International airports. Meanwhile, airports such as, let me not even leave the continent. Let me stay in the continent. Go to Oliver Tambo Airport.
Even in Ethiopia, they have a wonderful
and it's
airport.
Doing so well. Like they're also expanding it.
But and that's the thing that I was thinking about Adani is they have a similar setup with their airport where it's partly privately owned. But I feel like there's a lot of there's a lot of trust that we need to have. There's a lot of also goodwill that needs to be on the government side for such things to work, for that
that's a lot of
public-private partnership to work.
Yeah.
Because Ethiopian Airlines manages a lot of the airport, and Ethiopian Airlines is also privately owned, I think, mostly. But yeah, I was in Addis Ababa airport, and I don't know the name of the airport, but I was like,
it's a really nice airport, and you see all of the planes.
It's very modern.
All
very
of the planes
nice.
are what? Ethiopian. Now imagine if Kenya Airways if Kenya Airways decides they want to privatize and take over the airport.
I don't know how much they wanted for Adani, but you don't even need that much. Sometimes like just the lights. Can you please read Jomo Kenyatta International Now you go Airport, there. It says Jo Ken Air. Bro, you can't even get, like, please tell us how much it will cost to fix those
Like, actually
lights.
give us a budget, guys.
Yeah,
A budget
we'll
that
send.
actually makes
We'll send
sense.
everybody 50-50.
That actually make, well, many kila mtu akitoa 50 bob, hiyo pesa ni nyingi
I
sana.
feel like
by
we
the way.
get, I don't know, there's a word for it, but it's escaped my mind. But sometimes you hear 100 billion, 20 billion lost, disappeared, budgetary allocation of 50M. My guy, you don't understand how much money that is.
That's a
1
lot.
billion Kenya shillings is $1 million. $1 million, and we had a lecturer, at least now I can tell you who told me, one of my lecturers told us in class, if you want to quantify how much $1 million is, you can live on 1 million Kenya shillings per month. 1 million Kenya shillings per month for 80 years on $1 million.
Unahitaji tu mita
Mita
moja
moja every month
80
in Kenya
years.
shillings, 80 years. What, that is how much $1 million is. That's 1 billion shillings. So when you're hearing 20 billion shillings,
you're like,
that is an insane amount of money. Because think about it this way, you're used to dealing with maybe the most you'll deal with maybe 80, 100, 250, 500.
Well, pray for me more. Let's say I'm dealing with $1 million.
Let's go $1 million.
We're going higher.
But even still,
but I get you.
But even still, what are you doing in your life so that you're earning hundreds of millions? By the time you can't even think
of how much money
money that is. Why would you? Personally, I don't know why I would possibly need
all of
million.
that. It's greed.
Yeah.
It's the beast called greed that once it landed in the shores of Africa, has not found its way of living.
And there's a family somewhere that survived with 30 shillings in 1 week.
Imagine.
So it just doesn't make sense.
There's
that
a family
distribution
even.
Of wealth.
There's a time even in Mombasa. There's a mother who was boiling stones because her children were crying. They're hungry. Anachukua mawe, anachemsha. Watoto wadhani ni chakula. What is that? And there's somebody who is easy. We are having. There's also there's another crisis I want to mention with you. Another corruption scandal I have here in my list. It is a food scandal. We've been having quite amounts of food scandal. KEBS have lost 420 million.
Kenya Bureau of Standards.
Yes, 420 million. That's a lot of money. There was grains that were
all
given
this
to
money
us.
that's being lost, nobody is telling us where it's going to come back from.
Hii pesa inarudi aje?
Either that or somebody goes to jail because...
I make sense. Because, yes, here it is. In 2025, leaks exposed 420 million lost via fake travel claims, fraud, legal fees, ghost workers, and releasing of contaminated rice into the market.
I remember that story of rice.
And Russia had donated some rice, some grain. I think it was rice. Went missing.
It doesn't go missing. So I have a friend. She did her attachment at was it a police station? She was working with police, not an attachment, but like she did community service with police.
Yes.
And this was around the times that we got severe floods.
Ile tuliambiwa tutapewa boats.
Last year, yeah. Severe floods. It was bad. Rachel Ruto really prayed for rain. She didn't know how we were going to drain it. So a lot of aid came in. This is food aid, immediate relief, small money, stuff like that. My friend was telling me how what they were doing in that petrol station. See, money, there's a way it's allocated.
Yeah.
So you go, you write all your shushu's numbers there, your sister, your auntie, your friend. And then the aid, the food aid, the blankets, the unga, gas nini,
cylinders,
they were just being loaded into cars and being driven to these guys' shags. And then, so you're wondering why there's rain, the only person helping anyone is Eric Omondi. Did you see Eric Omondi there with the boat saving people?
Aki walai Eric. Honestly, I love Eric. I pray he does not get into politics. Yes, him being a politician would be fine, but no. Eric asingie politics. Afanye, because me I feel like kazi Eric anafanya ni kuaibisha serikali. And we need somebody who will constantly aibisha serikali. Be like, the nonsense that you are not able to do, that you ought to do, he's doing.
We need activists and we need the government, because no matter who is in power, no matter how perfect, there always needs to be someone telling them this is how you can do better.
Yeah.
And so I don't always think I know that, activists can make good leaders, some of them, but I don't always think activists, should be
politicians. I don't think activists should be politicians. I think they're there because activists hold politicians accountable.
Yeah.
People need to hold these people accountable because they're going after the cause of our society. Because we've gone through how they've gone after health sector, how they've gone after education sector, and how they're now we're going through how they're going after food sector. And another issue that we've been having with them is the fertilizers that have been going missing. We have approximately 44 million worth of fertilizer. Yes, this is what was donated by Russia. That was donated by Russia, disappeared in transit. We have fertilizers that have been sent to people that are not good for their crops. And what has been done? Nothing. So we're going after the grassroots. It's not
even like we need to be importing these things anyway. We don't. Because we have the solutions. Our farmers are really struggling. I saw last week in the news there was I don't know how many metric tons of rice that were imported. And rice farmers really pleaded with the government, like, why? Apparently we are facing a rice shortage. But
because of snail infestations.
But the rice is
it could have been prevented.
But the rice is there. There are farmers, but they're not getting a market for their goods. And this is happening all over the country.
Yeah.
Where we have farmers, but we are buying products from China. We are buying, every time you go to the supermarket and you buy vegetables from the supermarket, unless you go for the local,
it's not
most
from
times
here.
it's not from
outside.
here. So,
exactly.
Yeah,
we are not
empowering
our own people, and I think that's one of the saddest things also. Me personally, I believe ukitaka vitu za kupika enda sokoni.
But now you see, Kenyans also, you need to also make conditions favorable, because what I don't like about going to the market is three tomatoes for 20 shillings, right? But when you see me, now one tomato is 10 bob, so those are the tabias also that we need to stop, because you'll find most people will shop in the supermarket because the price is fixed, it's predictable, whereas so also I don't love the idea of Kenyans where our leadership is a reflection of us. I don't 100% agree with it, but it is true in part, because Kenyans are ungovernable. And actually, my mom always says, if she was to get me a T-shirt of one of those things I say the most, if there's one sentence I say the most, Kenyans are ungovernable. What can you do with Kenyans? If I want to go for the game, I don't have a ticket, I'll break your gate. And
that's what I've been doing, even in events. It's a thing ya events.
Such a person.
Mpaka tumekuja hapa tuko na games mnakuja kufanya. Wa Kenya hata sisi saa zingine aibo. We need to govern. And at the same time, we are mirrors of each other.
Yeah.
I think we're mirrors of each other because these are not behaviors that used to occur. I can't remember a time in 2023 or 24 or 21, I'm going for an event and people are barging down at the gate. There's a level of uncouth.
I feel like people
energy.
Just don't think that, I have a friend who lives in Malaysia, and she was telling me, there, when you get caught, you go to jail. Here, everything's a negotiation.
Unataka ngapi leo officer? Mimi hapa niko na thao 2
tuongee tu. Hatuwezi kosana, si ndio? Yeah. Sorry. Everything is a negotiation. So I think if we started having some accountability for one,
yes.
If you do this, it's illegal, there are repercussions. Not everything is now let's start negotiating.
Yeah.
I mean, and we need to sit down as a nation and ask ourselves whether we are ready for that. Are we ready for that?
Are we ready? Are you personally ready to be held accountable? That's something I always say, because I always think a way I try to live my life personally is treat people how I want to be treated. Do something that mtu mwingine akifanya sitajam. Sitakuwa unafanya ujinga gani. So with just that system for myself, it makes me accountable to myself. I pull back when I'm going to do something nonsensical. I'm like, no, I would be yelling at somebody if it was them doing this. So don't do it. And these are the small things that again put these European countries that Kenyans want to run away to. These are the small things that put them ahead of us. I can give you an example with Italy. Italy, ukifika kwa light ni red. Even if it is at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, jaribu kuvuka your light. Na you're the only car on the road, jaribu kuvuka your light. You will get a message you will be summoned.
In Kenya laws are
Na unasema ati hautaki kukuja, tutakukujia kwako, and then you are punished. So they have points in their driving license. Na points with an offense, point in a reduce. At the end of the year, they only will reward you with like 2 or 3 points. Mind you have 25 points. Zikiisha. Story yako imeisha hivyo.
Malika, imagine if we had a point system.
Imagine if we had that in Kenya.
People have gold driver's licenses. You're like, how come your driver's license is gold? Because I have 100 points. Yeah. Where did you get 100 points? I thought there's only 5 points. I bought. Nowadays, people can buy points.
People can buy anything.
Kenya.
People can buy literally anything.
The corruption is a culture. Corruption is corruption culture. is our everyday life. The other day I was at a red light. There's a guy. I don't know if you've seen this guy. I'll call you out. He's driving a black Audi, and then the number plate imeandikwa boss. Right? So we're on Mbagathi Way. This junction, when you reach Mbagathi Way, Gong Road is on this side where there's that Nairobi Baptist Church. The light is red. There's the guy who's in front of him. He's hooting at this guy. Like, where is the guy supposed to go? The light is red. He's hooting at this guy. The guy is like, siupite basi. You know how Kenyans are, siupite na mimi.
Don't tell me he pitted with him.
No, he didn't. But then when he was driving off, he kind of swerved to like almost hit the boda guy. Then he sped off. And I was just like, now how do you help such a person? Now, how do you help such a person?
Really?
You see how when you have money in Kenya, you feel so emboldened.
You feel like you're God.
But honestly, who will tell you, when you have money in Kenya, you can do anything you want. And let me tell you that for free.
Wait till I get my money.
Right. Yes.
Kenyans are Kanye West.
You can do anything you want.
Like, you don't have to go to the US to meet Kanye. Go meet a Kenyan. Like, Kenya will be like, mi niko na do, unataka kuniambia?
Because you won't be held accountable. The police will come, and then you just pay them and you go.
And I think, as we said in the beginning, we need to fagia water. Because it starts from the very top to the very bottom.
I don't even know if at this point we need to be doing police reforms.
I'm good
without police. Are you good without police?
Like,
I don't feel like they do anything.
I don't feel safer in my own country.
I feel like I'd feel safer if there were no police.
I'm telling you, and I can assure you I'm not the only one. When you are on the road, you see a police, there's a part inside you that shivers.
And you don't know why.
You don't know why.
You've not done anything.
It kind of reminds you. It reminds you of the deputy principal in high school. Unadepa, unajua most depas walikuwa tu maniacs. Unadepa unashtuka. And you don't know why you're shtuka. And it's the same thing with Kenyan police. And it's sad. It's sad, it's scary. People who are supposed to keep us safe are the ones exploiting us, the ones killing us like they don't care. And unfortunately, they are also victims of the system. Sadly enough. Just as we go to wind up, I remember during our last protest, there was a female police officer who alianguka, walikuwa natoroka watu, akaanguka. Kuanguka, unajua watu they ganged up on her.
That.
So people ganged up on her, and then somebody took her shield. So many mengia Tao protests. One of the first pictures I take, and I will share that picture, is of a guy with a police shield. And in my head, I'm like, how the hell did you get this thing? I'm like, nikatoa hiyo story kwa kichwa. A couple of weeks later, I see this story. I'm like, that's where you got the shield from. But why I'm bringing this story is this police officer, they followed her to hospital, right? And she was saying how her children are scared for her life, how she just wants to get better and go back to work so that she can be able to make money for her family. In my head, the angel in me was, good Malika was like, Aki pole kamami. What happened? It wasn't fair. If we're being very honest, at the end, if we really look at it on a bigger scale, she's also trying to make a living. She's just another Kenyan working. But now the devil Malika is like,
police rafiki yako.
Fuck the popo.
Yeah, that's the word.
Fuck the popo. Ulinisaidia lini?
Yeah.
Whenever you've cried to the police, even when a police station, nataka nisaidiwe, hakuna kitu nanisaidia, hakuna kitu nakusaidia.
First of all, nunua chai, alafu tutaongea.
Nunua chai?
Unajua sijakula chai leo.
Ama gari yako, ujaribu gari yako i-break down, alafu polisi akupate. Lazima ulipe yake kwanza ya kukusaidia. Lazima ulipe ya breakdown. Hakuna gari ingine nakuja. Lazima ni breakdown.
As if it was your fault that your car broke down on the road. They're even supposed to offer you a lift.
They are.
And call someone to take your car to a mechanic.
You know. But who is Kenyan police? So me, and even people were so crazy in the comments being like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Because you felt the pinch that we are feeling every day.
That's what police do to people every day for no reason.
For no reason.
You know, I think what you've said is true in two senses. Like, yes, they are people, but at the end of the day, they are not, because they go through a process which is known as beasting. Beasting means removing every ounce of humanity that there is in you. When you go into the police force, I said force, not service, because
it's not a
there's
service.
nothing about service there. You are degraded, you are demeaned, you are taken through. And by the way, I was told, wanawake, wanaume, it's the same. There's no atio, it's the same. They're all treated badly. Yeah, and it's a really intense process. So even by the time you're done, first of all, uko na kiburi. You have this grudge against everyone. You have this need to assert that, you know, even if you watch the video of Boniface Karaoke being shot, it's like the cop was mad that he didn't run away from him. Because the guy didn't do anything. In fact, the guy had already passed him. And then he came back like, why aren't you scared of me?
And you're like...
And then proceeded to shoot him in the face.
And after like nothing happened.
Yeah, and then just keep walking like,
Nakaruka,
the fuck does this guy think he is?
And you're like...
You know, so it just shows you what they go through. And so that's why I will say police is rafiki yako.
Aki.
What they go through, they are not, you can't trust a police. You cannot trust a police. Right now, Malika, you can say you're my friend, you're a police. Okay? Then we say, okay, maybe we go out together and we start chilling, you know. Then one day you will need some money for something and you will come to me and you will pin something on me that I didn't do because you need money, because that's how police in this country
work.
So
that's how they work.
I've never felt safe with police. I've always felt safe in the hands of my fellow countrymen. Maandamano, we saw it with our eyes. How people show up for each other. How people take care of each other. You see it even, there's this guy I follow called Brayo. He rides a
bike.
I
know him.
Someone like that guy. You know, I saw him being a first responder to an accident on Magadi Road. Kenyans, did I see a single cop there? No, the cop is just there akichukua hongo. But here there's a bus that's broken down. People are trapped inside. Kenyans stop their cars and they go out and they help. So I feel like we keep each other safe.
Yeah.
Community.
We are our own. We are by ourselves.
Yeah. And
we're alone.
Peer police, when they decide to put down their guns, we'll welcome them with open arms. But for now, they've picked their side.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're also at a point, as you said, they've picked their side. We're at a point where people are now picking their side. And
there's no in the middle.
Akuna cha 50-50. You're either left or right. And it is that. And you have to be careful of which side of history do you want to be on? You know? Which side of the card do you want to be on? Because it is now the line between, do I have people or am I by myself? And that is one of the takeaways I really hope people understand, that one, we need to remember why we're mad. We need to remember why we need to get rid of this government, this whole system, why we need, as you're advocating, to get into leadership positions, you know, because you have to be the change that you want to see.
Period.
We have to be the change that we want to see. And having such conversations, I really believe, is a way forward and is a way to keep pushing this conversation and keep engaging these things. Because once you stop talking about it, you forget it. Because even as we've seen with our run-through, the fraud stories, the missing money, tunaambiwa, tunanyamaza,
inaenda tu hivyo.
Inaenda. We are still waiting to get justice for Albert. We're still waiting to get justice for Rex.
We're still waiting for Lagat to resign.
We're still waiting for all of this. And he, with all his attitude, said, you can't tell me, you're not the one to tell me that I've overstepped. And you're like, guys, but you have. But you really have, and it's very sad. But as we keep saying, we keep fighting. The fight does not stop.
We will not forget.
And
also.
we will not forget, because even if
kwanza hao watu wa Gachagua,
you know what,
wacha nikupate.
Gachagua is another one. Gachagua is a whole other topic. I think
All I have to say on that is it doesn't even have to be a whole topic, but just, I thought we said we are not forgetting. This guy was the DP during finance bill. This guy said that Kenya has shareholders. This guy has played the tribal politics. Can play his guys.
He's been against us, and he's doing the same. You see the same thing that Ruto did. That Ruto did, playing victim. He's playing victim, and I think people are entertaining him so much.
Yes,
he's a clown that we're entertaining. We're entertaining.
And he's never had this much charisma. It's just recently that he started feeling very. He started feeling confident.
He's feeling cute.
One time. And by the way, Gachagua is not the person who came up with one time. I hate that it's associated with him.
And he's the one who's also trying to take the thing of, Gen Zs, I'm
bye.
like, please stay away from our light.
Old man.
These are ours. This is our light. This is our spotlight. Even when the likes of Mekatilili, when the likes of Mau Mau were fighting, it was difficult, but we kept fighting.
Amen.
And Kenya, we are in a point where we are very pivotal to the New World Order.
Yes.
And if we don't get our shit right, we might actually be the ones to fuck up the New World Order. So guys, don't forget why we're mad. Do not forget why we need to cut this bullshit. Do not forget why we need to keep having these conversations. Why we need to go and register to be a voter. Tafadhali mufanye hivyo. Why you need to get information. You need to verify the information you're getting, so that you're not just picking information from any Tom, Dick, and Harry. So that when we are sharing this information, it is the fact. We are seeking accountability, and we will keep seeking it.
Period.
As we go home now, our parting, give me 3 words to describe Parliament. 1 word to describe Parliament. 1 word to describe the police. And 1 word to describe yourself.
Parliament, I would describe as corrupt. Police, I would describe as violent. Myself, I would describe as hopeful.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tatiana.
Thank you.
And
let me just say this. I know it might seem like an impossible feat to vote Ruto out in 2027, but he's not the only one. If we had a parliament of MPs with integrity, we'd be way farther right now.
We would be.
So
we would not
even
be here.
At the MCA level, even at the MP level, your vote matters. Please come out and vote and prepare yourself for that.
Yes, you've heard it here on Teta Nam. I cannot wait for us to keep going and having more of these conversations with people as amazing as Tatiana, with voices as loud as hers. And we keep commending you for your bravery.
Thank you.
For your patriotism towards the right cause, towards the Kenyan cause, and towards us being humans again.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just to remind you guys, we are human. We need to tap back into our humanity, because our humanity is being stolen away from us. And if we are not careful, we are going to be robots. We are going to be blank. We are going to be empty. The future of our country is in my hands, is in your hands, in her hands, in everybody's hands. So let's do it. So stay African, stay radical. This has been Teta Nam with Malika Ouma. See you next time. Thank you.